The ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2022 was a successful event hosted by Australia, in which England claimed victorious and have won their second T20 World Cup in their entire cricketing history. So in this project, we're going to be performing a cricket data analytics using the same T20 World Cup data. We're going to start off this project by scrapping data from ESPN Cricinfo, then applying data transformation process using Python Pandas library, and then eventually turning it into a beautiful Power BI dashboard. But first, let us look into the problem statement of this project. So, the main objective of this project is to select the best 11 from this World Cup based on certain stats and records produced in it. The batting unit should be able to score at least 180 runs on an average. So maybe it could score about 190, or they could score 200 or even 200 plus also. That would be a bonus for us. And the bowling unit must be able to defend at least 150 runs on the board. So let's say if the target is 200, so let's say maybe they should restrict the opposition to less than 150, or maybe let's say that if the opposition is so good that maybe it might go up to 160 or 170, but at least the bowling unit should restrict the opposition to at least 150 runs. So this team that we're going to create has to win every match, irrespective of the conditions, irrespective of the pitch, irrespective of the stadium, irrespective of the country they play in. Now that we are done with the problem statement, let us look into the requirements and the parameters for selecting each and every player. So we're going to divide this entire team into 5 major categories. Number 1 is the openers. Number 2 is the middle order or the anchors. Number 3 is a finisher. Number 4, the lower end all-rounder. And number 5, the special fast bowler. So I'm going to create a team that is able to put at least 180 runs on the board, but at the same time, this team would also be able to restrict the opposition to at least 150 runs. The first category is the openers. Openers are basically power hitters. You expect them to go as aggressive as possible. Since the power play consists of only 6 overs, you must make sure that your batsman at least hits as many boundaries as possible, at the same time having a least dot ball percentage, and also maintaining a strike rate of above 140. So even if they score 30 runs, you must make sure that they score this in just 12 or 13 balls. Next are the middle order batsmen. So even they are going to go as aggressive as possible, but most of the time they would at least play in the non-power play overs. So since there are 5 fielders out at the boundary fence, you must make sure that they're good at rotating strike as well as hitting a boundary, as well as releasing the pressure of the batting team. Next comes the finisher. So they are the ones responsible for hitting at the death overs. So overs of around 16 to 20, they are considered as death overs. So you must make sure that your batsman is so expert at the death overs, maintaining a strike rate above 130, as well as have a batting average of 25. So let's say that even if the finisher hits at least 20 runs, you must make sure that they do this in at least 4 to 5 balls. Up next are the all-rounders. So these are nothing but the lower all-rounders. So they are batsmen as well as bowler, but they are more kind of a bowling all-rounder. So they bowl well, but at the same time, maybe let's say they can at least score 10 to 15 runs and adds a good total on the board. Up next are the fast bowlers. So you must make sure that your fast bowlers pick up wickets every 10 to 15 balls, and also maintain an economy of less than 6. Also make sure that they have a dot ball percentage of at least 40%. So let's say even if they bowl 4 overs, make sure that they have at least 10 to 12 dot balls, which is a really huge task in T20 cricket. So from these 5 categories, we can definitely build a solid playing 11. After looking into the requirements and parameters, let us now begin this project by scraping data from ESPN Cricinfo. There are many ways to do this. One of the methods is web scraping using Python, but on this project, we're going to be using a ready-made web scraping website named Bright Data. This is Bright Data website, which is used to scrape data from websites. The entire code is divided into 2 categories. One is the interaction code, and the second one is the parser code. So let us first look into the interaction code. The interaction code is basically the website from which you want to get your data from. So in our case, we want to get our data from ESPN Crick Info website. Hence, we have pasted the link into the interaction code section. Now, the second section is the parser code section. In this section, you want to exactly convey that what type of data do you need from this ESPN Crick Info website. So in this case, we need to collect match result summary from that particular website. So we have divided this parser code into small steps. So let's take a look into it. The first step is to create an array to store all the records. So we have created a variable called as match summary, and this variable is used to store all the results that we're going to accumulate. Second step is selecting all the rows from the target table. So all the matches are arranged in rows starting from qualifiers all the way up to the finals. So you must make sure that you extract each and every row from that data set. Third step is to loop through each rows and get the data from the cells. So you must make sure that you get every row and column as well. So in this case, we have 7 columns. One is team 1, team 2, winner, margin, ground, match date, and scorecard. So we have 7 columns in this. So we must make sure that we extract each row and column from this data set. And finally, we're going to return every result into the match summary variable. So as you can see, this is the code of match results data. So we are going to prepare 4 files in this way. One is the match results file, one is the batting file, one is the bowling summary file, and the other one is the player information. So as you see, we've managed to use Bright Data in order to scrap data from ESPN Crick Info website. However, I've only shown you the match results code. However, you need to download 4 types of files. One is the match results, second one the batting summary, third bowling summary, as well fourth one the player's information. So we've managed to download this in JSON format. However, you can even download this in CSV as well. So once you download this in JSON format, we're going to go into the second step of this project, which is data transformation using Python Pandas. So we're going to be using Jupyter Notebook in order to perform our data transformation and data cleaning process. So here we have imported Pandas library here, as well as JSON. Since our files format is in JSON, so we need some a library in order to read this JSON files. So we're going to start off with the match summary records. So we're going to load this JSON file here using this form, using this syntax, and then later convert this data file from JSON to a table format using Python data frames. And the reason because is we're going to download these files in Excel format. And we all know that Excel format consists of rows and columns form, which looks like a tabular format. So we want to make sure that we convert this JSON into a table format. And you can see, as you can see here, the results are as shown. Next, you may perform some analysis such as adding a new column or replacing a new column or renaming a new column here. So in this case, you have renamed a column from scorecard to a match ID. And then later we have converted these data frame into a CSV format. So this is the syntax for this. Similarly, we have done the same for batting summary. We have done the same for bowling summary, and also we have done the same for the player's information as well. So once you have done with all the data transformation and all the cleaning process, we have successfully converted this into a CSV file format. Now that we have completed a data transformation on our data set as well as downloading it into a CSV format, let us now move on to the most beautiful part of this project, which is building a Power BI dashboard. So in this case, we're going to build some key measures into this Power BI dashboard. So for example, for batting, we're going to include a batting strike rate, or maybe a boundary percentage, or maybe his average runs scored, or how many innings has he's played, and bowling measures such as bowling strike rate, bowling average, bowling economy, how many wickets has he picked up, what's his dot ball percentage, and all these factors in Power BI. So now let us move on into the step 3, which is building dashboards. So I have built a Power BI dashboard which will help us select our best 11 based on his T20 World Cup performance. So starting with the power hitters here, or the openers. So we have three openers here: Josh Butler, Alex Hales, and Riley Rizzo. So based on their strike rate, their batting average, as well as their total runs, we have these three batsmen on the list. So as you can see here, we all know that Josh Butler and Alex Hales were in good form this World Cup, and they are the main reason why England won this World Cup as well. So for two opening batsmen, I would pick Josh Butler and Alex Hales. The main reason why I'm not picking Riley Rizzo, even though he has a good strike rate of 169 here and a good average here, is because both Josh Butler and Alex Hales belong to England. So I believe that they have good communication with each other. They might bond well with each other on the pitch, which is really necessary, especially in the power play as well. So let's say that if one player does not hit, maybe the other batsman could hit as well. So a good communication is required between the two. So we need at least one player that could go aggressive in the power play. Or if you have both players going aggressive, then it's a huge bonus for us. So for opening batsman, I'm going to pick Josh Butler and Alex Hales. Let us now move on into the middle orders. So for middle order, we need two players. So we only have two players here, that is Virat Kohli and Glenn Phillips. And you can see here, they have very good strike rate here of about 130, a good batting average of 40 as well. And they have scored 200 plus in this entire World Cup format. Moving on to the finishers. So in this case, we want finishers who are all-rounders as well. Someone who can play in the death over, someone who has a very good strike rate here, above 140. So in this case, we've got Glenn Maxwell, Mark Stoinis, Sikandar Raza, and Hardik Pandya. So for finishers, we need two finishers here. So I'm going to choose Glenn Maxwell and Mark Stoinis, purely based on their batting average as well as their strike rate as well. Next, moving on to the bowling all-rounders. So for bowling all-rounder, we need someone who has a good bowling economy, a good bowling strike rate, as well as a good batting strike rate as well. So most of the all-rounders that we have here in the list are all spinning all-rounders. And this is really good to have a spin in your option, because let's say if the pitch is a bowling pitch and if the surface is good for turning, then these bowlers might come in handy as well. As well as they can give a handful of 10 to 15 runs on the board as well, which is really important in a T20 format. So we're going to pick two bowling all-rounders here. So the two bowling all-rounders that I have picked here are Rashid Khan here as well as Shadab Khan. Now coming on to the fast bowlers. So for fast bowlers, we need someone who is a wicket-taking bowler, who has a good bowling economy and who has a bowling strike rate of less than 15. So we need to choose three bowlers from this category. So purely based on wickets, I'm going to pick Sam Curran since he's the leading wicket taker in this World Cup. And I'm going to go for Norgay as well, since he has a good bowling economy, since he has the least bowling economy and the highest dot ball percentage amongst all the bowlers in the World Cup. So I would pick Norgay for giving a good pressure on the opposition, which is dot balls. And then I'll pick on Shahid Shah Afridi for this raw pace, since he can swing the ball in both ways of swing, be it legs, be it in swing or out swing, or be it slower ball. He's really good at variations. So for variations, I would pick Shahid Shah Afridi here. So for our final 11, this is our entire team for our final 11. So we have Josh Butler and Alex Hales, who are the two opening batsmen. We have Virat Kohli and Glenn Phillips, who is the middle order. We have Glenn Maxwell and Mark Stoinis for the finishers as well as providing a good handy, who can also provide a bowling option as well. We have Shadab Khan and Rashid Khan, who are our bowling all-rounders. We have Sam Curran, Shaheen Shah and Norgay, who are going to be our specialist fast bowlers. So this team looks quite good. Even if you're a cricket fan, if you just look into this team, you know how deadly this team could be. This team could beat any team in the world. So now let us look into something called as tooltips as well. So what is a tooltip here? So this is nothing but batsman's stats over here. So we have the player's name here, we have his photo over here, and we also have his performance against each and every opposition listed here. His batting average, be it his strike rate, be it his average balls faced, be it his boundary percentage as well. So if you want to know what is a tooltip, just notice the openers page here, and if you look, just hover your mouse into this, you can see his profile popping up here along with his image, along with all his stats. So this is called as a tooltip. So I have built 3 tooltips here. One is a batting tooltip, one is a bowling tooltip, and another one for an all-rounder tooltip. So that's it, guys. So this is up for the project. So I'd like to thank each and every one for attending this presentation. If you do have any suggestions, or if you feel that I need some improvements in this project, you can list them out in the comments below. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again.